Chapter 5. Become the most positive and enthusiastic person you know. Jackson Brown. I arrive at the airport just after sunrise and immediately begin my pre-flight checks of the small airplane. It is overcast as usual on this cold winter morning. I'm stationed at a naval air station near a small California coastal town. The ocean fog often sweeps in over the airport. By late morning, it will burn off. But I want to fly now, so I will need to get a special clearance to take off with the limited ceiling. I'm still in my flight training, and though I don't yet have a pilot's license, I'm allowed to fly solo. I have always wanted to learn to fly, so I saved enough money to make this dream come true. Taxiing out onto the runway, I radio the tower and receive clearance for a limited visibility takeoff. Pushing the throttle to maximum, the light plane rushes down the runway, and lifts off into the morning light. I climb to 300 feet, then level off. The overcast is a solid blanket of fog 50 feet above the airplane. It is thrilling to fly at such a low altitude. I feel like I could reach out the window and almost touch the rapidly passing trees and telephone poles. Banking into a sharper turn than necessary, I point the plane towards a dry wash bed and, using it as a guide, fly inland. Soon the fog blanket begins to dissipate, so I climb to 5,000 feet to practice my maneuvers. While still climbing, I pull the throttle back to idle. The plane slows and begins to shudder as it loses lift. This maneuver, known as a stall, is exactly what the plane does next. The right wing raises up as the small plane noses over and goes into a steep dive. Shoving the throttle to maximum and leveling the wings, I continue the dive, allowing the plane to gain speed. At 110 miles an hour, I pull back on the wheel, kick the left rudder, and go into a tight bank turn. The gravity of the high-speed turn drives me deeper into the seat. I'm so excited I could scream. So I do. 2 months later, June 1975, at the age of 25, I would fulfill a childhood dream by earning my private pilot's certificate, which, according to my instructor, meant I'm now the most dangerous object in the sky. He thought I tended to be a little too adventurous at the controls. Actually, flying an airplane is not an extraordinary feat. I certainly am not a special person, just a practical human being who does not believe in restricting his potential for adventure. As I write this chapter, I think about a story in the newspaper from April 1st, 1994, laying on my desk. It is an article about someone who was very extraordinary. Rachel Carter is 9 years old. Today, she became the youngest person to fly an airplane across the United States and back. This fourth grader, who sits on a pillow so she can see out of the airplane's window, flew 5,506 miles in 10 exciting days. Her father was along as co pilot, but he kept his hands off the controls. Their trip began in San Diego, where the last words the crowd heard before the plane door closed were, "Dad, may I have the keys?" The 5 foot tall, 55-pound pilot is quoted as saying, "I learned to follow your dreams if you ever have them." I mean, because a lot of kids, they have no dreams, but whoever does have a dream, I think they should follow it. Most kids are not fortunate enough to have access to a plane which they can fly across the country. Yet dreams should not idly wait for the right opportunity to come along either. If we want something bad enough, the first step is always to begin to pursue it. If we wait too long, the dream could fade into memory, which is a terrible fate for a dream that could have come true. Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in Him, and He will do this. Psalm 37:4.